All right, Bitcoin has been absolutely trucking to the upside. We've gotten a very bullish move here, and we've even so far been able to get above and stay above the very key resistance zone that I was paying attention to. So in this video, I want to go over market cipher. I'll take a look at how things are looking as, we're still in a pretty crucial spot right now. And I'll also go over some areas of support that I'm watching in case we do get a retest here. And we'll see, maybe I'll find some other stuff to talk about, but first I'll give a little last time on Dragon Ball Z recap. So in my last video, we were probably roughly around here. I'll put a vertical line. We were still ranging in this little zone down here after taking out the larger range low, and I pointed out that I was feeling more bullish, just given how market cipher was looking. We saw money flow on many time frames, especially the higher time frames, the more significant ones, the 4 hour through the 2 hour. Start to cross up above the zero line, get into the green, and we're continuing to put in higher highs. And market cipher money flow on these higher time frames is nothing to mess with. There's a reason I started feeling more bullish following that, especially after a significant development like taking out the range low. These kind of false moves are opportunities to, number one, stop out people who may have had their stop losses below the range low. Also, it probably convinced a lot of people to start shorting in this area, thinking, oh, we're breaking this range to the downside. Now's, definitely the best time to start shorting this and looking for much lower targets, right? And so the combination of grabbing liquidity and baiting people into shorts is a great recipe to see a reversal. Basically put those guys underwater, the people that shorted. And if you're a market maker, these are, the kind of things you look for to fill up long positions with all of the longs that just got stopped out and all of the shorts that are potentially now opening up. And the longer we ranged here, the more bullish the money flow started to look on these midterm timeframes, the more I was thinking we probably will start to see a reversal here. And I mentioned that maybe it was only a temporary one. Maybe we come up to some key resistance and reject. Or maybe we see a full-on range rotation from this. And for me, the decision point was really coming in around this high right here, where we had confluence with the value area low of the larger range. And so far, price has gotten above that area. We even got a little back test for support here before getting a little bounce. Now, I think things are still, undecided. Just because we found support once on this area doesn't mean we can't fall back down below it. I think if we do fall back down below it, that doesn't mean that we're necessarily going to see this whole move reclaimed. We could certainly come back down for a higher low before continuing this bullishness. And simply put, that's the things I'm watching right now. I have been mostly focused on trading local price action. I've taken a good amount of long scalps on Bitcoin and on some altcoins. It's been very good trading. Basically you just look for local opportunities to long, and a lot of them have been working out. There have been some pretty violent shakeouts here, but fortunately for me, I have not gotten stopped out, at least not for a loss with any of those shakeouts. I've been able to lock in all my trades up until this point, and so that's where we stand right now. So I do want to go over how market cipher is looking currently. Are we starting to see any weakness here? Is there any sign that maybe we will start to see more of a retracement here? We'll take a look at that. But first, I do want to do a bit of shilling here. You know me, I am a market cipher shill. This is really the only thing that I shill because this is a tool that I use every day when I'm trading. I look at market cipher every single day. It is my personal favorite trading tool, and there is a sale going on right now. There's a 25% off sale if you type in the code PLATINUM at checkout. And if you were considering taking advantage of this sale, I would appreciate if you would think about using my referral link, which is in the description of every single one of my videos. Just click on that market cipher link, and you should be able to also type in this coupon code and allow me to get a small slice of the pie. I really appreciate that for anyone that does that. So if the stars are aligning and you were thinking about getting market cipher and you also want to support my channel, maybe you think I'm not a total jackass, then yeah, that option is there, and I appreciate anyone that has used my referral link in the past and anyone that does in the future. So first, before I get into market cipher analysis, I will quickly go over some of the support areas I'm watching in case of a retrace here, because I think there are some obvious areas that I'm watching. You can see this convergence here of these anchored VWAPs. I think that is potentially looking like an area that may make for some good support if we ever do end up making our way back down there. and maybe we can find some even more confluence to go along with that. So I haven't done this yet, but let's take a fixed range pull of this uptrend. It looks like that wick is the highest point, and there is a point of control coming in around that area. You know, we could wick out these anchored VWAPs, hit off that point of control. You know, by the time we get down to here, though, the anchored VWAPs probably will move up, so there is a chance that if we do end up getting a retrace at some point, maybe by then these anchored VWAPs have moved up towards the value area high of that pull, which would also align with, you know, in general, the high end of this range prior to this breakout. So really in this scenario, I'm not seeing many, you know, clear-cut, super juicy looking areas of confluence. I do think the confluence looks good, but it's more of a broad area. I would really, you know, just take a box around this whole zone between the value area high point of control, kind of the high end of this range, and you know, say this little zone, which, you know, was pretty much prior to this breakout, the price action above that point, it was pretty much straight up. So I'm thinking this zone between 60,100 and 57,750 roughly would be some important support to hold if we end up retracing from here. We do also currently have more of a local range forming right on top of the larger range point of control. I don't know why I put a box around there, but yeah, we are ranging here, so you know, there's a possibility that maybe we work our way back down towards this range low, maybe we sweep that out and still manage to hold this very important value area low. And these local ranges are really, you know, where my trading is happening. I will certainly look for longs if we see a deeper retrace and if confirmations are presented. Again, I'm not going to set limit orders on any of these areas without knowing how price is looking, how market Cipher is looking as we work our way down there. But I also recognize that we may not see a deeper retracement here. This has been some very bullish price action. Alright, I'm back. I got interrupted by some severe weather I had to pay attention to, and then I made dinner. So I'll finish off this video where I left off. Again, I'm really, you know, just watching the local developments. I'm watching the higher time frame stuff as it develops. And I'm still being cautious to assume that, you know, just because we got above the value area low, just because we peaked above this lower high over here, that we have to put in some sort of a higher low if we do get a retracement. You know, I don't like to assume stuff like that, so really I'd pay attention to things as they develop. But so far we have gotten above a very key resistance. We have peaked above this so far. I would like to see a further break above to really, you know, make me confident in saying we're going to reach for some of these higher resistances up here. And that's pretty much where I'm at with Bitcoin at the moment. So now I'll end this off by going over Market Cipher. We'll take a look at how things are developing, how they look right now. And I want to start on the weekly because this weekly time frame is continuing to get more and more interesting in my opinion. The VWAP actually is much closer than I thought to crossing over. So it appears like, you know, we have a trigger wave forming here. And with, you know, the lower time frame that's continuing to put in higher highs with money flow, specifically the 4 hour through the 1 hour, that kind of gives me more confidence in this confirming at some point. We may even get a green dot before the next weekly candle closes. Today is, Tuesday? Yeah, we got 5 days until the next candle. So we may see a green dot on this weekly time frame here soon. Let's go down to the daily. So the daily money flow kind of, you know, looking weird. It's not really appearing as bullish as I thought it might, considering the 4 hour through the 1 hour. But it is seemingly still putting in higher highs in the green. We have, you know, a bit of a trend here where we got higher high, higher low, slightly higher high, slightly higher low. Now we just put in another higher high, so it is continuing to trend upwards. And remember, that is after we did confirm some bullish divs on the lows, so that adds a little bit more credence to that, in my opinion. We are seeing the VWAP start to turn to the downside a little bit. This daily momentum wave is still a ways away from printing any kind of red dot, though, so it's likely that this is just kind of a stall out in VWAP. We could see just another higher low for a higher high, and we could very well see that daily momentum wave continue to move to the upside. Now, here on the 4 hour, money flow definitely still looks bullish. It is starting to get a little bit of a retracement. It's cooling off a little bit. And something we definitely have to note here is there is some bearish divergence with momentum as we just put in a local higher high here. So possibly a bit of a sign of weakness following this back test of the value area low for support that happened right here. We put in a higher high, yet it was barely a higher high, and we do see some bearish divergence with money flow as well. So that is definitely something to consider. That could be what causes us to actually get a deeper retracement into some of this more key support. 3-hour also has those momentum divergence and money flow as well. So there is a slight money flow div on the 3-hour as well, a pretty clear momentum div. The 2-hour, again, very slight money flow div. Overall, though, money flow on these time frames is still putting in higher highs and higher lows despite this, very slight divergence. Overall, it's still trending to the upside. This momentum div, though, is definitely a little bit concerning, showing that, immediately following this back test of support, now we're seeing divergences as we put in a higher high. So, yeah, that definitely could cause more of a retracement here, and if we do see a retracement, I would really, have to see how things are developing as we get down to these areas. But, if I had to take a guess, just based on how thick in the green these midterm timeframes are in terms of money flow, I think there's a pretty decent chance that we could see a significant higher low be put in. Even though we kind of barely broke above this lower high back here, it is still a break. And we have, gotten above the value area low. But, if we start retracing farther, then that, again, is going to become key resistance for us. So maybe we come down, get a bounce from that area, and then reject from value area low before going lower. I would say at this point, all things considered, I think it's more likely that if we retrace, we do put in some kind of a higher low. But I also think it's too early to, really have confidence in saying that. So it really comes down to how things progress if and when we do get a retracement. That is pretty much how I'm feeling right now. All right, well, thank you everybody for watching. If you enjoyed, please consider leaving a like, subscribing to the channel, and leaving a comment. All that helps to support the channel, and I really appreciate it. And I will see you all in the next one.